Hello, everyone. Welcome to Take Two Tuesday for, where are we at? February 20th, 2024. Welcome, everyone. Happy to have you here with me. I'm going to give you a quick look right away at what we'll be checking out today. We're going to look at this is called Arc to Stamp, and we'll also look at the dies with it. I think they're called Noah's Ark dies. But if you just type in ARC, you'll find it. And then we're also going to look at we'll take a look at our donut fold-it die set today. So we have a couple fun items to look at. I'll give you a little sneak peek there, and we'll be working on those coming up here real soon. Let's see. First, we do have some fun new items on the Stamps of Life website. If you haven't checked it out yet, let me find that for us. Switch us cameras. On the Stamps of Life website, make sure you guys, can everybody hear me okay? And I hope, yep, good. Great to have you all here. I see a lot of familiar names, so happy that you have joined me today. I think I can get my little picture on here. No, here we go. Let's see. There I am. If you go onto the Stamps of Life website, you see we have new dies today. Very fun stuff. We have the this bundle is an extra discount. I noticed the price is like 33% off. So if you want a great deal on something brand new, we have the Creative Decks large scallop bundle die set there. And let's take a look at some of the cards that you can make with that. We'll just go through this real quick. And no, I don't want to sign up for that. The dies, and then the fun cards there. So these are great if you're into creative decks, if you just want to decorate and have a little fun with these nice dies. These are awesome. And let's see what else is there. Go back a page. Yesterday we had a super fun day at the Stamps of Life store here in Laguna Hills, California. I know a few of you made it, and a few people who watched this video or Crafting Corner, so it's fun to get to chat with some of you. We had fun. We had a good time. This is the banner dies here. This is the nested banner. It's a 5x7, so nice large banner. I've seen where it's been used for card fronts or banners, so that's a neat one if you like that. And one other item. The store was a little bit busier yesterday. It was President's Day, so a lot of people had the day off. So I saw some faces I hadn't seen for a long time, almost like since before the pandemic. So it had been a long time since I'd seen them. So that was fun. We got to catch up and chat and see all the fun new stuff in the store. Some people hadn't been to the store for quite a long time. It was exciting for them. And it's always nice to see familiar faces and get to chat and catch up a little bit with everyone. So that was fun. If you're ever in the Southern California area, you'll want to try to time it when we have a store day. So this is is it present A2 background. I keep wanting to call it birthday, but it's present. So I think of birthday present, but however you want to look at it. So those are there on the website. Let me check out our chats over here. Hi, Carmen and Mary Lynn and Nancy. Purple paper, that's a lot. Purple Paper Mountain High, M.A.'s, yep, I met you yesterday. That was great. She stopped by, and from Northern California, so that was fun. She made a big trip down here to see us, or she was in the area. I think she was seeing some friends or family or something like that. Upstairs hobby room, I see you, yep. Let's see, Ellen Cuts Paper, hi, and Gloria, hi, Carmen. How are you? Great, everybody's there. And let's see, make sure we're doing okay on Facebook. Hopefully I have all my sound blocked off. Yeah, Ruth, we missed you yesterday too, but I've been praying for you, so I hope your surgery goes well. You'll have to tell us how that turns out, okay? We want to hear that you're doing good. Let's see, what else? So the website, the new items, we're going to take a look at those stamps and dies. What else do I have to catch up on? We have, this is like our last week 5 of our challenge of giving thanks and just having an attitude of gratitude. I hope you're doing well on that. I've been doing pretty good, keeping up myself this last week. Maybe if you could each day start your day off thinking of 4 things that you're thankful for, that would be great. And now we're on to week 5. So as you start your day, maybe think of 5 things you're thankful for, or maybe in the middle of the day, end of the day. So this will be the last week kind of this challenge. Again, we're just kind of repeating it over and over, trying to get it ingrained into just something we do every day. And the more we're grateful for and thankful for, probably the less we're going to complain, and then the more we'll be content, and we'll see how blessed we are, and that'll just help our overall outlook on life. So we'll keep working on that. And at the end of this episode, I have a short little Bible passage about when it talks about when Jesus was being thankful. So we'll look at that real quick at the end. Let's see, we talked about the new items. Possibly next week we might be at a different time. Let's switch off of this one here. Tiffany is supposed to be coming back, and her time slot is 9 o'clock. So I'm going to check in with her, but I think we'll be starting at 10 o'clock starting next week. That's the plan. If we continue on with the 9 o'clock for another week or so, I will let you know, probably on Crafting Corner. That would be on Thursday. I'll have an update on that, but I'm going to check in with Tiffany. She does her show, she says, at 9 to 10. So when she's finishing up, you can switch from her channel and move over to here, the Stamps of Life, and check out Take 2 Tuesday. So that is the plan, at least for right now. So I think that will happen most likely next week. We'll be changing to 10 o'clock on Pacific time, and that would be 1 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. If we keep the original time, I'll let you know, but most likely that will be changing. I told you about the flash sale. If you're new to the Stamps of Life, we have a great club. We have a card kit club, a die club. That's the Die Hard Stamp Club, and also a Fold It Club, which is a die set that I'm going to show you what a Fold It is like today. If you are interested in any of those clubs, when you go onto our website, you just go up to the top and click on Join the Club, and it'll give you all the information about the clubs. The clubs are fun. You get some happy mail sent to you once a month. When you're in the club, you get a couple free gifts for joining. I think the Folded Club, you get one item, but it's a special die set. And then you start getting the club member discount whenever you shop on our website. So it saves you a lot of money. So if you shop with us occasionally, if you join the club, the discount that you get, which is 15 to 20% off everything on the website, kind of saves you some money, and it'll kind of pay for almost your monthly club shipment. And it's fun just to get something you like and enjoy in the mail, and some new dies or stamps to work with. It's just always fun to get new things. That was one of the great things about the store yesterday when everybody came in. A lot of it was new to people, and so they see all the card samples from the design team, and that's exciting, and they kind of get inspired. They're taking pictures of cards, things they'd like to make themselves, and so that was lots of fun. Let's get started. We will go ahead and check out our featured items here today. I have my little baskets here. We're going to look at Arc to Stamp today. And let me get the stamps and dies out first. Before we look at the card samples, I do have a lot of samples for this one. And if I can pull that up over here, my little extra sign so you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's see. There it is. Maybe not. What's going on here? There it is. Okay, Arc to Stamp. I don't think I put the correct date in. So if you see that date on there on my slide, this is actually from about May of 2020. This stamp set came out, at least according to the information that I could find on it. May of 2020. So if you are new to the Stamps of Life, maybe you haven't seen this before, and maybe you bought it a long time ago and you haven't used it for a while. So that's a fun one. We'll look that up after we check out the dies. We'll see on the website what we have, and there's the dies that go with it. They coordinate. You have a few sentiments. Welcome, little one, to the world, baby. These are fun for kids like our guys. They like Bible stuff, so if you told them about Noah's Ark, they would totally be into it if you made them a little card. So the twin boys, our grandsons, would love this kind of stuff. So let's check it out on the website. And when I go over there, I'll just type in, I should be able to find it pretty quick, ARC. And we're doing. We probably will have a store day in March. I see Susie's asking over on Facebook. Most likely sometime in the middle of the month. I haven't picked a date yet, but I will start to look forward to the future and see if we can plan ahead a day. Where did I? Okay, there we go. All right, the ARC dies. There you go. It is a set of 6 dies. The large die is, if you can see it on my little square, and on this, it is 4.5 inches about by about 3.5 inches. So it's pretty good size. It would, you know, fit on the front of a 4x6 card. I did encounter a little bit of a challenge when I went to do the stamps today, so I'll show you how that worked out. I had to improvise a little bit, but it was not that difficult. When you have a big stamp like that, you need a big block, and I happen not to have one, so I figured out a trick that I think Stephanie showed me from the past that will help us to stamp that even though when we don't have a big block. And let's look at some of the samples. Maybe I can make those a little bit larger or not. There we go. All right, so you can see some of the fun ideas from our design team. And you can go crazy with your coloring. If you like to color a lot, you can spend a lot of time. There's a lot that can be colored there. If you have, I used a little bit, I worked with the Stamps of Life markers today. If you have Spectrum Noir markers, they would work with this. You can have lots of fun with this one. Now let's take a look at the stamp set. Again, this one's six dies. The die is a pretty large size. It'll basically be a card front. And we'll find the stamps. There they are. All right. So the stamps, you get 9 stamps, and that comes on a 4x6 inch sheet. The ARC, again, is about 4.5 by 3.5 on the stamp set. And these stamps are made in the USA, so they're going to be super high quality. You're going to get good stamping impressions all the time from these. When I stamped this one the first time, you'll see what I stamped earlier. First shot, I made sure I had ink all over it, inked it up real good, stamped it one time, and it was awesome. It came out really good. So it is really easy to use and fun. Again, you'll want to put a lot of ink on it, and you'll want to make sure when you go to get the impression that you really push down on all sides real firm and you don't miss any spots. Or since the stamp is so large, you might get a few spots where it doesn't fill in with the ink. So you just want to give it a lot of pressure, and I'll show you how we do that. And I think all the card samples are the same in there. There's a video for it. Again, these are from May of 2020, going back in time. All right. Back over here. Great. Okay, we're going to take a look at the card samples that I have. And you can see I have a bunch. We'll move over to our camera 2, our little kind of a card sample table or shot, and switch over to that. There we go. All right. And I'll just kind of leave these up here for a second, and you can take a look at them. Did that work? Nope. Where am I? There we go. Okay. Arc to stamp with the dies. Here's a fun one. This has, looks like they've added some of our rainbow stamps, as well as, this looks like a, it's not the box that I can't let me see, it might say on here before I show you. This is the 5x7 box card die set that's used with this one. It's pretty tall, so I'll show you if you can see the top there too. Lots of fun there, and it's got the layers. That is a great die set. And here's one on the front of a 4x6 card. You want to make sure if you don't have one of these A2 basic card sets that'll make your base, you definitely want to have one of those. Always handy to have. Several of our card bases make 5x7s, or not 5x. We do have 5x7s, but these are 4x6 cards, the A2 size. So you want to always have one of those on handy. And most of these cards, the arc fits right on the front of that. If you have any questions about these after I showed the samples, I'll switch over to the chat real quick and oops, off. See if there was any questions. We got that one there. And I have one more. It has a nice little Bible verse on it too. So that's a great one. So that's all of our samples. Again, from May of 2020. Arc to stamp with the arc dies. All right, and then I'm gonna check in with you guys real quick. Yeah, and I see Gene says it's cold in, sounds like New Jersey. Yep, it is cold here, raining all day. It's supposed to have been raining the last 3 days, and kind of was dark and cloudy and overcast yesterday, but the rain's really hitting today in Southern California. Let's see. Yeah, adorable, late. Yep. If you're late, don't worry. This is taped, so you can have a chance to catch up, and if you missed anything, you can watch later. If you're new to the Stamps of Life, we do this episode once a week where we go back in time and we take a look at some items from the past. We call it Take Two Tuesday, and we look at stamps, dies that perhaps we've purchased in the past and we have forgotten that we have. They're down at the bottom of our collection. As we add new items, some of the time the older items get forgotten, but this is a reminder. You can break them out and use them. And if you're new to us, these items might also seem really new to you. So we like to bring them back out and let everybody take a look at it. So we're just here having a little bit of fun, bunch of friends together. And I'm going to move over to the demo table. I will just show you how to cut one out. I think I'll do that. Yeah, we'll run the die through real quick, and then I'll show you what I stamped earlier and what the little idea I have to, if you don't have a big block to work with. So let's move over to our other camera here. And I will switch over mics too, I believe, if I can do that. Hopefully without getting any extra sound. Let's see, camera 3. Nope, that's not good. Almost there. Bear with me. No. Okay, there we go. I can move over to that camera. Great. And we'll turn that off. All right, arc to stamp. You see some of the samples that we have that we were looking at earlier. I keep them all in this basket to keep them kind of handy for me. Let me switch over mics here. Hopefully you can still hear me. I think so. Turn that one off. There we go. Sorry about that. Might have been one echo. Okay, I think we got it. All right, so over here, if you can't hear me or you hear any funny noises or anything, let me know, but I think I've got it all down good this time. All right, over here on our table, let's go ahead and get our stamps and dies out. We can do this, speed things up. So it comes with the shadow and it comes with the arc. Get a couple pieces there. Oops. These get really taped down really well. And we'll run these through the machine. That's going to be our shadow. And if you want to we have offered the inside piece too. You don't have to use this piece, but it gives you a chance to have a little more detail in your creation if you like. Okay, we've got those two. And we probably want to use a lighter color for this. Maybe we'll use a little bit darker on this one. Oh, that I need to save that one for later. So let's find a different color. Run that through first to get our shadow. And I've got that lined up pretty good. Should have watched for my speed bumps, but I think this one cut went through just fine. So if I want a shadow, there I have my shadow. That was easy. And I wouldn't use these together, but if I were to want the inside piece to use, I would have that as well. A little bit of a turn. Right through there. And this piece will just give us a little more of the detail. We could paper piece this together if we want. If we want to do a few different colors, we could layer it different ways. That would be fun to work with. Now, my sample, I went ahead and I stamped this a little bit earlier, and this is my first impression with the stamp. That came out really nice. This shadow would work. I'm sorry, the shadow would cut out this die right here. It lines up perfectly with the stamp. So I would usually, myself, I would cut this the main piece out first. I keep calling it a shadow. It's not, because it exactly matches up with the stamp set. And then I would stamp on top of this. But what I did is I went ahead, and if I wanted to, now I've got my arc stamped. Oops, which way did I go? This way. I would just run it through the machine, and it would cut out perfectly my die. Now what I have stamped. My issue was when I went to stamp. Now here you can see how they have cut it. They used this shadow. After they had stamped, they cut out and they got the arc. It does have a bit of a shadow you can see around because there's a little bit of white border. So that is how you are going to get some shadow on it. But it looks really nice. With mine, you can see how big the stamp is. It's a large, very large stamp. And when you have a large stamp like this one would need at least a 4x6. A 4x6 block you'd want to put on. Maybe a 4x5 might work. I didn't have either one of those today here. So I kind of, I was all, well, you can't just, see, this is about the largest block I had available. It's not going to work. You have to get this on something really solid all the way around. Well, what I did, and again, it's not that I figured it out on my own. I started thinking, oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to be able to stamp this? I went ahead and I found a new cutting pad that I had around here. So this is a spell binder. You could use any one you have, but you want it to be new. It can't be, whoops, what happened here? I lost my camera. Oops, hang on one second. Let me figure out what has happened. I lost my camera number 3. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. Why have we lost that camera? It's plugged in, and I see a feed is going through there. No. Okay, give me 1 second. We'll figure it out here. Let's see. I think it's just decided it doesn't want to pick that up. Okay, there we are, I think. Sorry about that. This time I didn't do anything. My computer just had a mind of its own and decided it was going to change on its own. So, all right. That hasn't happened before, so sorry about that. All right, so the I'm not sure how much we missed. The stamp is too large for a block like this. You have to have a 4x6 block. You have to have a maybe 4x5, but something big. You need a big block for this. Well, I didn't have a big block, so I went ahead and I found a nice new cutting pad that is very straight. You don't want to have one that's been warped, or it could have some scratches and cuts in it, but it's got to be really flat. So what I did is I just went ahead and I put this stamp on the cutting pad. Took my ink, inked it all up real good, made sure it was all filled in. I have my secret weapon, and then I just went right down on that. And this would be the key. You've got to add the pressure real even, keeping it still. You see all the fine lines. You have to make sure all of that hits the paper. And that's what I ended up. So that's a little trick. If you don't have enough, if you don't have a large enough block, a cutting pad will help you out if you're in a jam. You don't want to do that all the time, but if you're on the spot and you need to figure out a way to stamp a big stamp set like this and you need a block, this will be a good substitute temporarily. So remember that. And then I just did, I'm not a super great color, but I just took some of our markers and started to color myself, and probably took me a minute or two to do that much. This is where I need my glasses because my sight is, my eyes are starting to go a little bit, and I want to try to stay in the lines a little bit. And if you're a great color, this will be easy for you. Maybe I'll just do a little purple on the hippos. And real easy. The ink dries really fast once it hits the cardstock. And I could just fill in those little guys. And you could just have tons of fun coloring this. And I'm sure some of you guys are great with ink and coloring. You can make it really beautiful. So very easy. That is Arc to Stamp. Noah's Arc dies. We have all of that on the Stamps of Life website. And you might want to check that out. It's great for new babies coming along or kids cards. All kinds of different ways you can use that. I'm going to kind of clean up and get things before I move back over. So when we come to our next round here, I'm kind of ready to go. All right, I'll put that down there. Okay, and I will switch back over and see you guys. The camera didn't go off again, hopefully. No, it's still on there. Okay, so that was the Arc to Stamp. Sorry about the screen, guys. I don't know what happened. I haven't had that one. I've seen it black out before, but never while we were live. So when I went to look back over there, I saw a black screen. Sorry. Yeah, but like Pam saying, any flat surface will work. I just found something that was handy since I had a nice cutting plate like that. You probably would have that in your stash, in your crafting room or wherever you're crafting. So just check that out. That might be something that comes in handy for you. Next, we're going to look at the donut. Oh, let's see. I pulled up some interesting facts about the Arc. Let's see if you guys know any of these things, something you might want to know. Okay, Noah was 500 years old. He had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They were in charge of building the Ark. And I think he started building it. And this part I don't see here, but I think it was around when he was 500 or so when he started building the Ark. It took them 100 years to build the Ark. Crazy, huh? 100 years. So that was quite a lot of work. And the Ark is huge. It's about 400 according to the Bible. So it's measured in cubits. So anytime you see a cubit in the Bible, it means it's about 1.5 feet. So if you do the math, the Ark is about 450 feet long. It is about 75 feet wide and 45 feet high. So it is quite a ship. Now, if you were to compare it, here it says the Titanic, to give you an idea, the Titanic is about 3 times bigger than the Ark. Now, the Ark could carry a ton of stuff. Maybe they say 16,000 animals here, it says. So if they're coming in pairs, you got 8,000 different animals. Obviously, there's lots more animals than that in the world. So there are some calculations, like if they were baby animals or smaller animals or sleeping animals, maybe they're hibernating. There's ways to get lots more animals onto the ship if they didn't need to, move around. So it would held a ton of animals. Let's see. We don't know Noah's wife's name. It doesn't come up in the Bible. Noah lived to be 950 years old. Now that is a lot of years, right? To live. That is a lot. 950. That is a full life. The ark ends up landing when after the flood, the grounds dry up, and the ark ends up on a place called, they say, Mount Ararat. Nobody's ever found it. There are different places that they believe it could be, but no expedition, it says, they have not found it. There are, I think, multiple places with the name called Mount Ararat, but some of the places where they think it could be freeze up, and there's snow and ice all year round, so it could be under one of those locations. We just don't know. But anyway, that's a little bit of information about the ark. It was made out of something called gopher wood, which is maybe like a cypress wood, because we don't really know what gopher wood is. And yeah, that's it. Okay, on to donuts. Everybody loves donuts, right? Donuts. I love donuts. This is the donut A2 card. Fold it. One of my favorites, and always been popular in our store and our website. And when we would travel, everybody liked this. We were using it for the last class that we were doing when we traveled. So it was just becoming super popular. So we will take a look at that. I have a lot of samples for you. Donuts, I think just about everybody loves donuts. Where's my little tag there? This one is from, and I don't think I changed the date. I changed the names on these items today, but I forgot to do the date. So let's see if donuts are on here. There we go. Donut Fold It is from, nope. It says April 20, but the records I found were May 20. So we're off just a month on that one. The Donut Fold It doesn't have a whole lot in there. Maybe 4 or 5 dies. Let's see. And I have some fun facts about donuts to share with you too. We'll take a look at those. We also have a smaller stamp set called Donut to Stamp. If you like to work with the stamps and the dies, we have that option also. Let me open this up here and switch over cameras. Maybe. There we go. Oh, let me switch. Forgot to switch that again. Okay, is that better? I think I might have been a little bit out of sync there, so sorry about that. Yeah, I heard Penny says she's going to Kentucky to see Noah's Ark. They have some big museum type park place there that I've seen advertised on TV where you can see like the real live, at least according to the measurement, Noah's Ark. So that would be fun. I would like to do that sometime. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Let's see what happened to our donuts. There we go. Okay, you see our donuts. How many? It says 2-piece die set. It says only. Oh, I thought there was more pieces in there. We'll have to check this out. I thought there was more in there. We'll figure it out. I know it's got the little sprinkles. It's got an outline. I'll show you how to do the fold it. Some card samples here that are fun. This makes an A2 size card. The fold it, you could also use it just like as a card front if you wanted. You have lots of different options, ways to use that. And you can see some of these fun ideas here from our design team. And if you scroll down, you'll see our regular donut to stamp. This one's on order. I will be getting more of those really soon. And the donut dies that matches these will be smaller than, again, this is A2 size. These ones are smaller. And we have some sayings there. You could use even with this fold it. And there's a solid pattern. All good combination of those if you haven't seen those. But this is from May of 2020. You might have it. Let's take a look now at the samples. All right, so you can see I've got a bunch again to share with you. These are really fun. I think you're gonna like them. And let's go ahead and take over that. All right, here we go. I'll run through these because there are quite a few of them. And the idea was, if you ever see a sample that you like, you can, of course, take a screenshot. If you know how to take a screenshot on your computer or your phone, that will help you to remember. If you really want to see all the samples again, you could actually go back and watch the video again and find this section. And you could record the screen or take screenshots then. That's the best way to do it. You'll see some samples on the website, but there might be some samples I have here that you won't see on the website. Now this time, most of the time we do the fold on the top, and that's how I'll do it when I show you today. But we can also do a fold on the side. So you have two different options, two different ways you can make your card. These have some fun sprinkles on them. The donut set does come with sprinkles. Here's an example of, whoops, that's getting a little crooked. Let's get that back over there a little bit. There we go. This is an example where you just use, and I think I made one like this myself, where you just use some pattern paper. Very, very easy to do, right? And very decorative. This is combined with our candle dies, and I think more candles for birthday. We have a stamp and die set called, that's not quite getting where I want it to be, called Candles for Birthday, and there's also an add-on set which is the more candles. This one is used for as a card front, and it has our let's see if I can fix that a little bit. Nope. That's a little better. This has our raccoon pudgy on there. We have a stamp and die set called Raccoon Pudgy. And this one has a donut with our little mouse on it. I'm not sure if that's called mouse to stamp, or I don't know. But if you click mouse, it might say on the card. Sign for Mouse. It's a stamp and die set called Sign for Mouse, if you like that little mouse that's on there. And here's a basic. We, again, mixing solids and pattern paper there. Easy. This has the phrases from our stamp and die set called the Sweet Statements. And it's a big die there. And they've used the shadow and the regular word die to make that little statement. Here we have a mix of pattern paper with some solid, a couple more. This one uses our big, the die set we're featuring today, along with a little donut from, that would be from our donut to stamp collection. Kind of combine those two. That's a fun look. And our last one, kind of back to some solid and pattern paper. What do you guys think? Pretty fun, huh? Okay. Hope you like those. Any questions about that before I head over to the... I don't really have a lot of time when I go to check the questions, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything when I show you guys all the samples in case you do have a question. Let's see, we'll put that there. I'm gonna go ahead and break this out. See if I can get that to pop out one more time. And let's go ahead and get our dies out of here. Yeah. I cut some sprinkles ahead of time. Hopefully we can pop a couple of those on there. Let's see, our donut facts before we go on. Interesting things about donuts. Let's just say, let's close that. Americans eat a lot of donuts. The donut was originally made in maybe the late 1700s, early 1800s, and it was called, the original name was doily cakes. Doily cakes. I'm sorry, not doily cakes, oily cakes, which makes sense. You kind of fry them in fry them in grease, so that would make sense, an oily cake. I heard that the legend is that some mother made a donut for her son, and he was some type of fisherman. He was on a boat. The donut was solid at the time. Well, he took the donut, and I guess the steering mechanism for the boat, again, this is like early 1800s or something, is where I hear it's from. He took the donut and he smashed it onto, there must have been like some kind of bar or spike or center, and it made a hole in the donut. So that's supposedly where the donuts got their origination. I don't know. It was an oily cake, and it turns into a donut because this sailor guy slams it onto his the steering wheel of the boat that he was on. So that's what I read. Let's see what else is there. Let's see what else. There's some huge old donuts. Let's see. Donuts. People spend a lot of money on donuts. What else? In America, a popular city for donuts is Boston, and that's probably because of Dunkin' Donuts, right? I know when we've been to Massachusetts, there are a ton of donut places around there. And what else? I know I saw something else that I wanted to tell you about. Oh, well, we have this place out here that puts bacon on top of their donuts. I haven't had one of those, but everybody says it's really tasty, so someday I'm going to have to try one of those. Let's see. Donut consumption. Americans love donuts. It says Americans eat about 10 billion donuts each year. Can you believe that? 10 billion donuts. That is a lot of donuts. I know I eat my share of them, but somebody must be eating a lot more than I eat. And then I also saw that per person, like the most donut stands is in Canada, which I was surprised. So donuts, I like donuts. We're going to take a look and see how we can make a quick donut card ourselves. All right, let's move over. I'm going to turn off my mic first. Got my camera on. All right, let's head over there. And hopefully, yeah, I can hear my sound coming through. And hopefully we won't have any blackouts here. All right. This die here will do the majority of our work. And I see I thought there were more dies included in the set, but it just does come with 3. So that was surprising to me. Peel that off. All right, there's the main two. And then I already did some of the sprinkles. I'll show you what I came up with. We can use some of those as we go on. All right, the important thing with the donut folded is you're looking for that line where it says fold your cardstock here. So you can see there's one line there. And remember how we said we could also do it on the side? So you have the option of top, of using that right there. Let's see if I can get that in focus. Or on the side. So this is giving you a little help of where you want your fold on your cardstock to be. Okay, we're making a folded card. Now, if you were making a card front, or maybe you were decorating a scrapbook page or something, you wouldn't have to fold like this. But since we are making a fold it, we're going to go ahead and fold across there. I'm going to go ahead and score that a little bit. Make sure it comes out really good. We're going to do a chocolate donut. So I'm going to add, so you can see where it says, place the fold there. I'm going to cut, when I run this through the machine, my die's got to be just a little bit over the edge there. Now, it does leave us with a problem because we want, and I have to make sure I have extra cardstock for this. Okay, we'll see what we can do. We're going to end up with that straight line at the top, and we would definitely want to cover that. Otherwise, the card will look a little bit odd. And I'm going to turn that at just the slight angle, hoping to avoid speed bumps. I want that to be, the donut to come out fairly even. And I'm going to run that through there. Oops, move that, scoot that over. And there I have the base of my card. You can see it now. It's cut out with that straight line across the top, which is fine. That's how it's supposed to be, but it doesn't look really like a donut. You could leave it like that, but we want to kind of smooth that donut out. Let's see how we can do that. We're going to take this again. Now, normally I would want to get the exact same color. I might only have one of these sheets of color, so I'm going to look real quick in my stash, but I might have to use a different color unless I get lucky and find something down here in my cart. Oh, how about that? I got lucky today. Wow, I found another one. So in order to eliminate or at least cover up that line, we don't want a flat edge on our donut there. We're going to have to run this through here without a fold in order to cover that up. So that's what I'm going to do. That on there. And again, fold-its are one of the easiest cards to make, and especially one like this, because a donut is pretty basic unless you want to get super creative and decorative. A donut is a donut, and chocolate donuts are awesome. And you can put any kind of icing you want on them. You can decorate your donut however you want them to be. So here we go. So as we have this full, nice cut, this is going to cover up the edge where we had that straight line. So you can see it's going to cover that up. It's going to make our card look a lot nicer. So let's go ahead and get some adhesive on there. And normally I would want to do this in a different area, but I'm kind of limited on workspace here. I'm just going to add this right on our machine, try to make sure I don't get it on my cutting pads. Add some, this is the Stamps of Life adhesive runners. Put a good amount on there. And then this is just going to layer right on top, just like that. Okay. All right, so a good portion of the work is now done on our donut. So we have that, and we want to give it a little bit of color. I see I have some extra here. This might be just enough. See if we can make that fit on there. Trying to maximize my, no, I don't think that's going to work. So we're just going to find a new sheet. We found a stash of extra cards, pattern paper pads at home. So I have a lot to choose from here. And you might not find these on the website because some of them are a little bit older. They may be retired. Let's see, something that will work. Cherries on the donut, that might be fun. This is one of the things that always causes everybody to slow down, right? Trying to make choices about what you're going to, which cardstock colors you're going to use, papers. This will be fun. I'm going to use that. It has some swirls already on it. That pattern will look nice on top of the donut. And we're going to take the inside piece now, and we're going to run that through the machine real quick. Does everybody still see me? No blackouts this time. Again, I don't know what happened that time, but we should be doing good. Get that on there. Then I have my dies at just a slight angle, hoping to avoid our speed bump. And since we do have a pattern on here, sorry. Little crash there. I got to the edge. I want to, as I have a bit of a pattern on here, I want to make sure that it's kind of running the right direction, so it's going to work with the donut. So I'm going to make sure, spend a little extra time there, line that up just right. And that's kind of flowing with the pattern a little bit better. Otherwise, if I were to die cut the pattern and it's not going the right direction, it would look kind of weird. All right, got that. Should have a couple little pieces here for us. The bottom will be extra. Maybe there's a different type of card you want to make. You could save this scrap for later. could be the bottom of your donut if you'd like. We just need the top. This is going to lay over just like that right on top. So I will add some adhesive to the card. These dinosaurs were on the back of that cardstock, so I did lose the dinosaurs, but I wasn't planning on using those for anything. And this was just a scrap paper pad. But if you had dies that match those dinos, you might have wanted to select a different pattern, a different sheet of pattern paper. Add that to the top. Press down, and there you have your donut. Very, very easy. Let's see, where are my dots? I had a few dots here. I cut out some sprinkles earlier. I can add these sprinkles if I want. They would show up a little bit better on if I would have chose a different color sprinkles, maybe white, or this is where they get really hard to work with, and they're so tiny. But I had put adhesive on this ahead of time on it. See, I'll show you this. I'd ran these through. I had a foam sheet on there, and so they already have some sticky on there. Otherwise, you'd have to probably use tweezers, because these are really fine, especially for my fingers. You can get those decorated on there. You could fill this all in with all the different sprinkles you want. You could add white sprinkles. Maybe some brown would be fun in there. That would kind of coordinate with that. Red doesn't super match, but that's what I had cut ahead of time. So that's it. Very easy, right? Donut stamp. I'm sorry, not donut stamp. Donut fold it. Come back over here. All right, back with you. We'll turn that one off. Great. Hope you guys like that one. I showed you how easy it was to make that donut. What, just a couple minutes without a big crash? It would have been even more fun, but we had a little crash. There's always something, right? Today we had a screen blackout. We had a crash over here on my die cutting table. Last week, I think the audio was a little bit echoey on one of them. So every week there seems to be some little issue that comes up, but overall we're doing pretty good. So super easy to make. Donut to, I keep wanting to say donut to stamp. We have that, but this is the A2 folded donut. Where did that package go? I don't see it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You'll really like that one. Oh, here we go. It has the sprinkles, has the die. If you have it, break it out, use it. You can use this one for so many different occasions. If you don't have it yet, you might want to add it to your collection. Again, if you're looking for ways to make fast cards or quick cards, or make a lot of cards in a short amount of time, the foldeds are super awesome for that. Okay. I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any questions or anything. Let's see. I don't see any questions. I'm looking. I see some people like Oreo. Gosh, you can put all kinds of stuff on top of donuts, right? When I was a kid, I remember I loved jelly donuts. Frank and Sharon, they're talking about voodoo donuts. Yep, I've heard about that. We have some popular place like you'll see in a lot of shows in LA where they use this place called Randy's Donuts. They have this big old huge donut that is kind of over there. The place where they make their donut store. So that's like an iconic thing. Donuts. We probably shouldn't eat too many of them, but they are yummy and I love them. So, you know, and this die set, awesome. All right. I think we've covered just about everything. What time are we at? We want to wrap up. Yep. Good timing. We're just about closing on an hour. I did get my Bible with me today. And I have my glasses. So if you had a Bible, you wanted to check this out yourself. We were talking about the, make sure I get my glasses here, about being thankful. And so I found this time, there's several times where Jesus said that he was, or the Bible says when Jesus gave thanks for something. And this story comes from Matthew 15. And Jesus and his disciples, they had been out serving and helping people. It was a big, busy time. Earlier in this chapter, He had kind of a confrontation with these guys. The Pharisees were kind of like the religious people who were troubling him, and he meets up with this Gentile woman who had great faith, he says. And it says right before this part that we're looking at, that it says they spent perhaps days. People were being brought to Jesus who were sick, or it says he healed them. Lame people who were blind were seeing. And so they go through this great effort, working and serving people. And that's a great thing that Jesus was always doing, ministering to people, showing how he cared for them. And so it comes to the end of this time, and it says the disciples, Jesus called his disciples to him, and he said, I have compassion on the people. It says that they had been with him for 3 days. He didn't want to send them home hungry. And so they had a problem. They're out in this kind of wilderness type open area, and there's not enough food. And Jesus sent the disciples out, and he says, he sends them to gather what's food around there. They come up with 7 loaves, probably little loaves of bread, and 3 fish. But here's the important part. Jesus took those. It's not much, but he takes it at what he has. He has these loaves of bread, and he has this fish, and there's supposedly 4,000 men here, and if it says in addition there's women and children, so you could be talking 8 to 10,000 people here, and they have 7 little loaves of bread and a few fish, it says. And so they have a problem. But what really caught my eye when I was looking over the story was Jesus just takes what he has, what God has given to him, and he go ahead, and the first thing he does is he gives thanks. It says he looks up to heaven and he gives thanks. And so instead of, we've been talking about, just being grateful. And so instead of Jesus thinking, how are we going to feed all these people with just this little bit? He doesn't look at the problem or the concern, but he gives thanks for what he has. And I think that is a good lesson for us to learn, as maybe sometimes we feel like we don't have enough, or we're in a situation where maybe we don't feel like all of our needs are going to be met. Our first reaction, and often I'm like this, I'm going to complain about it, or I'm going to be worried or concerned about this. How is this little bit going to take care of my need? And I'm thinking, in this situation, Jesus just had this little bit, but his first response was to give thanks for what he had. And so that's what when I was reading the story, I'd always read the miraculous part where they end up feeding this full crowd of, again, maybe up to 10,000 people. They all have bread, they all have fish, they're full, they're stuffed. At the end of it, they gather it up, and again, they just started off with small, a little bit. They end up with 7 baskets full. It says large baskets. So at the end, they have more than they started with. And this is just how things work with God. When we just find ways to give thanks and find contentment in God and the things that we have and the things he's blessed us with, he's going to provide for all of our needs. He says that he will. If you love him and you want to follow him, God says he's going to take care of you. And in this situation, I just see Jesus wasn't worried. He wasn't frantic about, how are we going to do this? He was trusting in his Father in heaven, and it all came together. And I think in our lives, that's something that we can learn by just being grateful and acknowledging what God has given to us and being content with that. And the future, or maybe we don't know exactly how things are going to come together, we can trust that God's going to take care of us. He wants to do that. So that was kind of my wrap up. You can read the full chapter if you just get to the end of chapter 15 in Matthew. It's just a few verses, but they have everybody sit down, everybody's fed, and it just reminds me of, one, Jesus was compassionate. He was caring towards people. He saw their need, and he was willing to try to take care of that. There wasn't much, but Jesus gave thanks for what there was, what God had provided. And in the end, God takes care of all of these people. And I think we could learn from that ourselves. So keep working on this week. If you have a situation where maybe you feel like you don't quite have enough, or you're wondering how everything's going to work out, just give thanks for what you have. And then, if you have a need or something like that, the Bible says we should ask too. And sometimes we don't get things we want or need because we don't ask for them. So that would be the second thing. You can ask, and if you have a need, God says he's going to take care of you somehow. It could be miraculous like this, where apparently the bread and the fish were multiplied over and over and over. We don't know how that happened, but God can do it. And I think if whatever your need might be in life, or mine it would be, that God is able to take care of us and provide for us just exactly what we need. But let's start with giving thanks. And again, the thanks just empowers us to probably increase our faith and our trust in God to take care of our needs. I know he wants to do that. All right. Any comments or anybody want to jump in? I am going to get out of here. We are just a little over an hour, and my aim is still to get this down to hopefully 45 minutes to an hour, but I thought it was some important things for us to talk about. And I see Penny says, God is great. That's true. And following Jesus is great. So I think I told you guys last week, God does love each of you. I hope he's blessing you with a great and wonderful day. If you ever have any prayer needs, you can always add to, I can't always see them in the chats because the chats go by and I can't keep up with everything here. But you can also, you can post in the comments below this episode, and I will check the comments. If you need prayer for anything, add your prayer request in there. We will be glad to pray for you. It's important, and maybe somebody else will come across that comment and pray for you too. And again, it's back to just the thing of if we don't ask for God's help, if we don't, let him know that we have some needs, we're probably going to miss out on some things, because I think God wants to bless us. And again, he says he wants to take care of us. So that will be it. I am out of here. Have a great rest of your day. I'll double check last call. Everybody take care of yourself. Blessings to all of you. Again, thank you for those who came to the store. Thanks for you who are watching. If you can like or comment, those are awesome for us. We really appreciate the comments. Maybe next week I'll try to figure out how somehow to do a contest where we can add some comments and boost our comments way up. But the more comments we get on YouTube, it helps the Stamps of Life. It helps Stephanie's channel here, and helps us to get more noticed too. So we appreciate your support. And so thanks for hanging in there with me today. And we had fun. I hope you like looking at those dies and stamps, and I hope that if you have them, you'll use them, and if not, maybe you'll want to pick them up. We will be back on Thursday for Stephanie's Crafting Corner. That starts at 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you save a reminder for that. Let's see what else. The new items are on the website today. On Thursday, I'm not sure what we'll be checking in on, but maybe it will be something from today's release or something different. Who knows? But we will see you Thursday night. Again, I will keep you updated on the time, probably a time change for next week. If it is, it will be 1 hour later, and you probably won't miss anything. It'll just give you an extra hour to do whatever you're doing, and then we can all hang out together. All right? I've got some fun stuff to check out next week, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, I'm going to check out. Thanks for joining me. Take Two Tuesday. I think this is like episode 6 or 7 or something like that is finished. So it's a wrap. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and God bless each one of you. And I will see you Thursday night. Bye-bye.